legacy media, listen up.
You thought that you'd be safe in your tower.
You thought you'd be safe.
Isolated from the people below. But the truth has undermined your foundation.
Truth hurts.
By so many people now in the know.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
You thought that you'd see the day that you could just get away from the ones you betrayed, who raised their voices to say you won't be trusted anymore.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe floating through the void of Yah's creation. It is the 19th of September, 2025, and these are the WTF reports. I am your host, Dave vonKleist, and looking forward to the weekend. I don't know what's going to happen over the weekend, but I mean, there's so much happening now. I don't know even where to start. It's all hitting the fan. What a time to be alive. Seriously. I know there's a lot of folks out there that are scared, and I understand that. A lot of people are having a lot of fear. But I remind you that 365 times in the Bible it says, do not fear, have no fear, fear not, etc. No reason to be fearful, folks. I know things are crazy. We are living in an upside-down clown world. We don't know what to believe. We don't know what's real, what is false, what's true, what is a lie. But thanks to the legacy media, by constantly throwing this garbage out at us, it's starting to become obvious. And who are the deceivers and who are the ones out there trying to tell the truth? It's a slow, painful process. It's like witnessing a huge train wreck in super slow-mo. And that's what it feels like to me anyway. But anyway, if you're listening to this broadcast, first of all, I thank you for doing so. We broadcast live from 2 p.m. until 3 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 11 until 12 noon Pacific, and you could do the math for the middle time zones, which means if you're listening live, you can call in. Yeah, the phone number here is 215-867-8255. Anyway, couple of things I want to get to. I'm going to be somewhat of a shotgun blast of topics today. But, it seems that this entire world situation right now, especially what's going on in Palestine, there's a group of people who call themselves God's chosen people. And yet their actions don't seem to be very godly to me. No. So inasmuch that they're mixing religion with politics, I figured, well, let's focus on the religious thing for a couple minutes here. Now, I want to share with you, I'm sure some of you have heard this exchange between Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson. Now, this is kind of important here because, here, let's listen to it and then we'll pick it apart. Listen.
Okay. And the reason is twofold. Number one, as a Christian, growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. Now, which Bible verse is he talking about?
And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, says the nation of Israel.
Oh, does it? Is that what it says? Well, let's go to the Bible. Inasmuch as he brought it up. All right, I'm looking at the King James Bible here, and I'm looking at Genesis 12, 1 through 3. I will share it with you. It says here, it says, "Now the Lord said unto Abraham, Get thee out of thy country." Now, where was he? I think that might have been Egypt, right? "Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee." Verse 2, "And I will make of thee a great nation," all right, "and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing." Verse 3, "And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed." Okay, now let's back up a little bit. Okay, before I read this again, before I go over this, I have to go to my sports mind. Red Sox Nation! Woo, woo, woo! Red Sox Nation! Red Sox Nation. Now, does that mean that the Boston Red Sox have a country, have a nation? Well, what is a nation? Well, a nation is a group of people who share a belief. That's what it means to me anyway. I mean, a Red Sox nation is those who support the Red Sox and want them to win, right? A Red Sox nation, a group of people. It's not a country. It's a group of people. All right, let's go back to Ted Cruz, and I'll go over this again in a second here. Back to Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson.
So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my...
I do.
You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it. And you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Well, hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding?
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. Okay, we'll get to defining Israel in just a minute. But going back to what Ted Cruz is saying, he is trying to basically twist Genesis 12, verse 3, into something it doesn't say. And again, verse 3 says, "And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed." It doesn't say Israel. As a matter of fact, the word Israel doesn't even come up until Genesis chapter 32. And where does the word Israel come in? That's when Jacob and God get into a little tiff, right? Jacob battles God all night. And at the end, God says, "And he said unto him," and this is Genesis 32, verse 27. Okay? And it says, "And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob." And then number 28. "And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed." So, Israel is Jacob's name. God told Jacob, no, you're not going to be Jacob anymore. You're going to be Israel. And then Jacob had 12 sons, and there's the 12 tribes of Israel. So, Israel is a people. It's not a country. All right? It is, if you will, it's a nation. It's a nation which is a group of people who share a belief. That's what Israel is supposed to be. It's not a country. This concoction of Israel in the Middle East is a fabrication as of a result of the Rothschilds and Lord Balfour back in 1917, where they said they wanted to create a Zionist state of Israel. Well, actually, they just said a Zionist state. But the bottom line here, folks, is that Ted Cruz doesn't know what he's talking about.
This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
So is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation...
Well, that's right. Yeah, the nation is a people. He just said it. It's the people of Israel. It was actually just a people. Okay.
The descendants of Abraham.
Referring to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
No, it's not.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
He's the prime minister.
Right.
What?
Yeah, but he is a dictator.
But just like, America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle is there.
This is silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You believe
Israel.
That's what God was talking about in Genesis.
I do, But
That country's existed since when?
for thousands of years. Now, there was a time when it...
No, Ted, no, it hasn't existed for thousands of years.
Didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying, I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is. So I don't know if we can...
I don't remember the scriptural citation.
Well, I just gave them to you, Ted. Anyway, so this is, I just wanted to throw this out there because unfortunately, you know, a lot of people are mixing the politics with religion. And I suppose, well, maybe it's not all that unfortunate, but the bottom line here is if you're going to do it, you might as well do it correctly. So, and if I'm wrong, I mean, you know, I had somebody contact me and says, no, you got this all wrong, Dave. Fine. I'd love to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Is anybody out there either agree or disagree? Give me a call right now. Go ahead. Come on. I triple dog dare you. Come on, give it up. Punch those buttons. 215-867-8255. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? Am I prophetic? I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of all this garbage. But there seems to be a lot of argument out there about this Israel thing. Speaking of, not to change subjects here, but have you noticed that Candace Owens, man, she is being attacked by everybody. Well, not everybody, but just about everybody. Why? Because she's questioning authority. Now, I don't know how this works. But there's all these social media posters and podcasters out there, and they're all taking a look at what happened with Charlie Kirk. And there's so many questions about this official narrative. I mean, the narrative has so many holes in it. I mean, it makes Swiss cheese look like a cinder block wall. The official narrative is just falling apart everywhere. So what the heck is going on? What the heck is going on with that? Let me see. I've got a couple of things I was going to get through. As a matter of fact, here's a statement. I'm going to share this particular statement, and I'm not changing gears so quickly because everything is connected. Because a lot of folks are saying, oh, look at Charlie Kirk was taken out because he had turned on Israel. Well, I think he did. I think he came to realize exactly what was going on with Bibi Netanyahu and this absolute disgusting slaughter of innocent men, women, and children in Palestine. Anyway, let's listen to this. This is a truth bomb that this young man put out there, and I wanted to share it with you.
Charlie Kirk had a lot of opinions. And among those opinions was his opinion that being a white, straight Christian male was under attack in this country. Now, this video is not to debate with a dead man's opinions. This video is to talk to who he was talking to and to talk about what to do in the aftermath of his death. Now, there has been, and there's going to continue to be, a lot of shit throwing on the internet around his death and around what happens after his death. And there's a whole host of young men who look just like me, who are either direct fans of his or knew of him tangentially and thought he was fine, thought he was harmless, just a guy sticking up for himself and his way of life. Now, these young men, for the last 7 or 8 years, have been being told that they are under attack for being straight, white, Christian men. And they have now had that fear confirmed for them in the most traumatizing and shocking way possible. Now, if you are one of these young men and you've made it this far into listening, please listen to me now. This war that we are throttling towards full speed is the war of our grandfather's generation. These old rich men in control who want violence, who want the masses to slaughter each other. These men are our only enemy. Who profits when we have riots? Who profits when the stores burn down? Who profits when we turn our backs on our brothers? Corporations profit. Private equity profits. BlackRock profits. BlackRock profits every time a bullet is fired and every time a store burns down. This culture war that they're sparking is being used to tear this country apart for their profit, for their gain, so that they can continue to profit off of our suffering. These people will profit when they shoot you, and they will profit at the hospital when they stitch you up. Companies like BlackRock and Palantir are set to make trillions off of the impending collapse of our nation. They're planning for us to tear each other apart. They are planning for us to turn on each other and make this culture war a civil war. I am begging you, please, for the love of God, for the love of our neighbors, for the love of whatever, do not take the bait. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, and brother, we are all sharing an enemy. Charlie Kirk was killed by being used by the same enemy as a divisive tool to split our nation in half. He was killed because he was a tool used by the elite to split us along culture issues like race, like sex, like gender. The only issue that matters is the corporations at the top and the rest of us at the bottom suffering while they sip champagne and they laugh at our fear. Your enemy isn't across, your enemy is up.
That's right. That's exactly what I was saying a few days ago. Now, the powers that be, they want a civil war. They want the right and the left to kill each other. That's what they're doing. That's what this young man was saying, that Charlie Kirk is a tool of the elite. They're using that to create division and create more hatred. Now, I look back in the 60s and 70s, and it was the peace and love generation. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together, try to love one another. And people were getting along. I mean, I was a full-time musician during those years. And, I was in a whole bunch of different bands, and there were black people, and there were Hispanic people, and we all got along because we all love music. It's a common language. I don't see musicians having a problem. I'm not going to play in that band because there's a black guy in the band. How about all the teams, the basketball teams, football, baseball? They all work together, and they're all mixed races. Oh my gosh, they're all on the same team. They have the same goal. They want to win. Doesn't make any difference if he's an Oriental or he's black or he's Hispanic, Costa Rican. Doesn't make any difference. You all have the same goal, and that's to come out on top. And that's the way it is in this country. I don't want this country to fall to pieces. Well, there are folks out there that want it to fall to pieces. They do have a globalist agenda here. And the number one goal, and I've been through this so many times ad nauseum, they want to reduce the global population by 90% plus. Yes, that's right. Yeah, it was in the Georgia Guidestones. Maintain humanity at no more than 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. They want to knock the population down to 500 million people. So that means 7 billion people thereabouts have to vacate the premises. But they can't do that as long as the United States is still functioning. So this is why systematically, deliberately, insidiously, and very stealthily, they're wanting to tear this nation apart. They're wanting to destroy our country. And they want to do it so that they come out blameless. Oh, gosh, we can't have the globalists out there blatantly doing it to us. So they're going to have us do it to ourselves. That's why they want a civil war. They want the right to face the left. Because God forbid we should go from the bottom to the top, because that's not called civil war. That's called a revolution. And that's the last thing that they want. They don't want the people to stand up and rise up for themselves. They don't want the blacks and the whites to shake hands and say, hey, guess what? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. You just might find out that the person that you thought was your enemy is not. We've all been manipulated, every single one of us. I don't care if you're from the Oriental culture, the black culture, the white culture, the Hispanic culture. We're all being manipulated. We're all being pit against each other. And this is what the globalist agenda is all about. And we can't take the bait. We can't let that happen. So this is why, there's so many folks out there, I mentioned a few minutes ago, this whole thing, this whole murder of Charlie Kirk, it is definitely inflaming a lot of people. We see all of these really sick individuals posting on the internet how happy they are, how gleeful they are. They're dancing, oh, Charlie Kirk is dead. And there's actually people out there saying, yeah, well, they should also take out his wife and his kids. This is sick. There are demons out there, folks. There really, really, really are. This really is a spiritual war. And I don't know if some of these people are actually possessed. I mean, some of their behavior certainly indicates that. But I mean, this is definitely, absolutely, irrefutably, undeniably a spiritual war. And, you know, there are very high-ranking scholars out there that are saying the same thing. People you wouldn't think that would even discuss spirituality. I mean, Catherine Austin Fitts, she's a brilliant woman, and she's come out and said this is a spiritual war. Tucker Carlson has said this is a spiritual war. Candace Owens has said this is a spiritual war. Marjorie Taylor Greene, spiritual war. I mean, the people in politics, people in high positions are all recognizing that it has to do with the spirit, good versus evil. It's showing, it's rearing its ugly head. And this is one of the reasons why people all over the world are looking what's going on in Gaza right now and say, how can we possibly allow this to go on? Folks, we're only about 2 weeks away from this being 2 years. The October 7th attack was, you know, that's how many, let me see, I'm looking at my calendar. Okay, let me see, today's the 19th, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Okay, we're 4 weeks away from this 2-year anniversary of the October 7th attack on Israel. And that whole thing is being examined. As a matter of fact, that's another thing that Charlie Kirk was talking about. He says, why the stand down? What happened there? And those are legitimate questions. And a lot of people have seen some of the documentary films, and I've mentioned this one numerous times. You know, the attack on Israel on October 7th was 100% an inside job. It's called the Hannibal Directive. And when you look at the evidence, I mean, people don't want to, they would never do that. Oh, come on. Raise your hand and slap yourself with it. You just have to look. You just have to look and do some research. And you'll find out that, you know, there is no other explanation as to what happened on October 7th. Once you've actually seen the video the video evidence, and you hear the IDF soldiers actually talk about it, and you see the video footage that was taken from the Israeli helicopters gunning down people. I mean, I'm not making this stuff up, folks. I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy. And I don't lie. I call it as I sees it. Now, I've been wrong before, and I'll be the first one to admit that I'm wrong. I look forward to being wrong once in a while. It's an opportunity for growth. You know, because I don't have a problem with ego and pride. I try to keep all that in check, and I wish and pray to God more people would do so. Because ego and pride is what prevent people from admitting that maybe I got fooled. Like Mark Twain said, it's always easier to fool someone than to convince them that they've been fooled. That's because ego and pride get in the way. But the bottom line here, you know, I mean, we have to understand what this young man was saying. We all have had the wool pulled over our eyes, and we've got to somehow overcome the ego and pride that gets in the way to help us to realize, you know, okay, maybe I was wrong about this. You know, I don't know how else to explain it, but you know, we've had this stuff thrown at us, you know, and they throw us clues all the time. Remember when they put out this manhunt? Who killed Charlie Kirk? And everybody's looking and everybody's trying to find him. And they say, we found him. Yeah, what a great success the FBI had. It only took them, how long? 33 hours. 33 hours. 33. Not 32. Not 31. Not 35. But 33. What is it about that number? Do you remember the pandemic? Yeah, remember how many cases were showing up? I wonder, what is it about that magic number?
33 Pennsylvanians who have tested positive for
COVID-19.
Today we have 33 cases.
There were 33 new cases.
The state of Minnesota today reported 33 new COVID-19 related deaths.
There are 33 confirmed cases in Arkansas.
That's the largest single-day increase so far, raising the total to 33.
33.
There were 33 confirmed cases in North Carolina.
33.
There was 33 everywhere. Like
I think that was Red Team Go. I think 33 is like Red Team Go. Everybody goes, okay, let's do it. It's time.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude,
Look,
there's like literally
I'm looking at all these headlines. 33.
33 people died in fucking Hong Kong.
Oh my
The number
gosh.
33, we all know what that represents. Everywhere, every single day, it was like, well, 12 more cases, which now brings the state to 33.
Yes.
We had 33 cases today.
Yes.
We had 11 cases, which now it's 33. 33 more people. I'm going, my God, how dumb do you have to see to not understand this is going on? Yeah, that was green light go. We're off to the races.
Yeah.
You've been subject to propaganda and lies by people who are very well trained in how they do that. If you find one thing your government has said which is clearly not true, I ask you this. Why would you believe anything else they've told you?
Why would you believe anything they told you? Exactly right. So there's that magic number, 33 again. Symbolism will be their downfall. I forget where I heard that. I think I do know where I heard that. But seriously, folks, I mean, it's in your face. It really is. And we have to have the courage to understand what that means. This means that there are dark forces that have been at this for a long time, and they use symbolism. They use, spells, incantations. They worship another god. And like I said, so many times before, sometimes, it's as clear as the nose on your face. The people have to be shown. The people have to be shown over and over again until they finally get it. As a matter of fact, not to change the subject here, but there was a woman who posted this following thing. You want to talk about being shown? You want to talk about the face of evil? How evil it is, what's going on over there in Palestine. And I remind you, yes, they have pushed out all of the other journalists. They pushed everybody out. There's a total blackout from the last time I checked. And by the way, do you know that there have been over 260 journalists killed in Gaza? That's more journalists than World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Gulf War combined. Oh, and yet they're God's chosen people. Anyway, here is a woman who's explaining what she has seen with her own eyes as the result of the actions of God's chosen people.
Courtesy of Israel, I know what a baby looks like without a head. I know what the remains of a baby and a child's brains look like inside of a plastic bag. I know what a child looks like with their brain spilling from a shattered skull. I know what a child looks like with its organs and intestines spilling out of their tiny bodies. Courtesy of Israel, I know what a child looks like picking up the pieces of their parents' bodies and putting them in plastic bags. I know what a child looks like begging a surgeon to save their dangling limbs while they wait to be amputated without anesthesia. I know what a starving, malnutrited child looks like that's begging for food that's never gonna come. I know what a hungry child looks like running away from bullets while they try to get food. Thanks to Israel, I know what a child and a person looks like on fire. Thanks to Israel, I know the look of despair in a child's eye when they lose their parents, their siblings, everyone they've ever known. Thanks to Israel, I know what it looks like for parents to carry the remains of what's left of their child, to be running with their lifeless
She goes
child
on for at least another minute here. There's no sense in going on. She knows what it looks like. My heart goes out to this poor woman, because I know this is what PTSD. This is the result is PTSD. And speaking of PTSD, did you know that IDF soldiers were I forget the name of the meeting there, but they were absolutely furious with the officials because they're all suffering PTSD. No wonder. These IDF soldiers, I mean, they will never be the same again. As a matter of fact, there are plenty of U.S. soldiers, and I dealt with many of them years ago from the first Gulf War when I was with Joyce, and we were the American Gulf War Veterans Association. We talked to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of veterans who will never be the same because of what they experienced over there. I mean, this does horrible things to your mind and your spirit when you're involved and you're in an atmosphere like that. I mean, these people can never, these are scars that will never heal. They'll never be the same again. And this is the world that we're living in, unfortunately. Where are you, by the way, folks? I want to hear from you. Am I crazy? Am I stupid? Be careful what you wish for. There you go. I was just saying, hey, let's get a phone call coming in here, and bingo, there you are. Who is that? Who are you, and what are you doing here?
I am an American, Carolyn. I am an American paying for this. That's what's so sick about it. And can you please embellish on the fact that our congressman, that we planted what, where? And then, sorry I'm so upset, but then I hear Trump, he's asked a question about Palestine, and all he can say is October 7th. I'm like, oh, that's the go-to. The go-to is like, what happened? Yeah, let's find out what happened, Mr. President. And how much money did you make off of AIPAC? And what's AIPAC again?
Over $230 million, according to Track AIPAC. $230 million.
I know. I'm just saying, if you look at from a bird's eye view, or just connect the big dots, they're kind of obvious now, like you're saying. It's like, I'm really beyond words at this point, but I can thank you for pulling it together in a lot of respects for me. And it's astonishing. And as far as we are Charlie Kirk, well, okay, a lot of us are going to church. A lot of us are getting with it with our spirituality, but we're also the target. And like, when are we going to get it? It's like, oh, it's happening over there. Oh, no, it's not happening. It's like, excuse me. I mean, I am absolutely, now I get what they were talking about, that it was planned, it was organized, the infiltration, like the whole network, down to our police, our citizens, our students. I thought they just infiltrated our medical system back when. I didn't know how, I don't know if the word is egregious, but I didn't know how cutting and baffling they are, and so now it's like people, I mean, you've got, what's his name? Tom Hanks talking smack about MAGA, and then there's a musician holding up I'm a pedophile, Mr. like Hanks, and it's like, come on, people, like run, put your stance down. I don't know. I mean, I just at this point, I don't. I'm almost speechless. I mean, there's just so much to say. This is a turning point. Ironically, I hope that you've been shouting it for all these years, which is remarkable. Now your music is very prophetic, isn't it? What was going on then, but now you can really see it. So sorry for the long rant on this. At least up to point, and then go ahead and bounce all around because it's all over the place.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, how can they? I hope, I pray that we can see the war they talk about. Yeah, she's going to lose control. Yeah, I saw that clip. I heard your clip about Hillary. Yeah, you're losing control, lady. And so I'm hoping that people, before we are all annihilated, I mean, if you're allowing it to happen over there and you're closing it, and our government is paying, I beg this. A question to you. I wonder what more they got from the state of Israel than money when they went over there. I wonder if they had a little fun.
Well, I think they were made an offer they can't refuse. They have a choice. You either take the silver or you take the lead. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and so we are being blackmailed, coerced, and bribed. I mean, that's it. So Americans are, not just the government. It's like, oh, okay, you want to keep what? So what makes me so sick as an American is that I enjoyed my freedom. Okay? I had no idea. I wasn't really taught, because they made sure of it. That I was like, what? We have rights? Huh? And what are they doing to us? So this has got to be turned around. And like you say, the Great Awakening, eyes wide open, folks, because you don't want your eyes wide open right before you get shot. Sorry to say that, but it's true. They're poisoning you. You know this? They've been doing it for how long now?
Oh, yeah, decades and decades.
That you touched on?
Yeah.
So now it's like, what are we, frogs here? I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the heat, aren't you? I'll stop with that.
Well, I think that there is one solution, and I'm not going to sit here and proselytize or Bible beat or anything like that. But I have come to realize in my late years that the power of prayer is real. It is real. If we get ourselves centered with our spirit and try to reconnect with the divine and understand that there is darkness and there is light, and you have a choice. And it's as simple as that. And you're going to either stand in the light or you hide in the darkness. And once you realize it, that's why I keep telling people, go look at yourself in the mirror and look behind the eyes. Look behind the body. We get to incarnate and we live in this finite lifetime for how many years? And it's like having a car. Okay, fine. I'm got a little Toyota. I'm going to drive around, and once that Toyota breaks down, and then you're done. And
they'll sure not to be rudely interrupting you, but
go ahead.
Until the power goes out, what are they going to do when they don't have football? When they don't have Starbucks? Maybe then, huh?
Well, I said that many years ago. You want to get the attention of the American people, all you got to do is cancel a football game and a beer delivery.
Yep, no doubt.
So.
No, go on. I'll let you go.
All right, Carolyn,
right.
God bless you. You hang in there, girl. Hang in.
You too.
Thank you for the call. I realize that it's traumatic, folks. We're having to deal with stuff that nobody wants to deal with. We're dealing with lies to the very core of our being. Everything that we've been taught, everything needs to be challenged. And I go back a full circle here. I see what's happening right now to Candace Owens. Bless her heart. She has been digging and she has been researching, et cetera, et cetera. And what's happened? All of these big-name podcasters, broadcasters, and social media influencers are attacking her. Why? Because she's questioning authority too much? I can't believe how many of these podcasters now, it's like, Israel didn't do it. 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 All of these voices sticking up, saying there's no way it didn't happen. And Bibi Netanyahu's got not once but twice putting out videos saying this is ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. That anybody would have anything to. Wait a minute. Who was going to benefit from the absence of Charlie Kirk? Think about that. Let that settle in. How much was Charlie Kirk? How much was Charlie Kirk exposing? Okay, is this Carolyn? You're back again.
Yeah, I without many tears here, try to be more succinct.
That's okay. I'm mourning the loss of our country and humanity myself. If this is a test for humanity, we are failing miserably.
We are failing miserably. It's like I don't. I'm so glad you played that clip. I think they should. Okay, I'll give you one. Why don't they broadcast what she is talking about instead of the Islamic prayer every 3 hours, starting at 3:00 in the morning, like when their kids are getting bombed, etc.
Yeah.
Come on. So what I want to know about, if you could embellish, is what is this about that they're planting the trees right where the attack is? How convenient. It's like we see through their guys, through their lies, through blah.
Yeah.
What is going on with the UN, the humanitarian? They're blocking how? And what is going on with these globalists making the rules up? Okay, really? Well, I'm sorry, but I hope that I do want you to embellish on that part, though, how they are blocking the humanitarian. Obviously, the aid, they're shooting them,
Yeah.
But how are they trying? What are they blocking? And the other thing, too, isn't Obama the one that listed that app that they were not supposed to use propaganda in the media? So I'll leave it at that. I don't know. I'll hang up. I'm sorry.
It's okay. All right. Hey, have a good weekend. Oh, my goodness. Well, she's hitting the nail on the head. You know, we are all being deceived, and you can't let it break your heart. I mean, it's horrible what's going on. Like I said, I just played the audio clip of this poor woman. Obviously, she's a healthcare worker, and she's seen some horrible, horrible things over there, and she'll never be the same. But, and this is why I'm saying people have to pray, you know, Jesus, Yeshua, come back. You know, we got to set the record straight on this end, which leads me to the next issue at hand, seemingly unrelated. But, you know, the past 2 weeks, there's so much horrible stuff. That poor Ukrainian girl that was slaughtered on the railway in North Carolina. And then, of course, the Charlie Kirk assassination. But, you know, whenever there's big news happening, there's other big news that you're not seeing. It's the old watch my right hand so you don't see what my left hand is doing. Well, a couple of weeks ago, they were having congressional hearings in regard to the UAPs, the UFOs, et cetera, et cetera. And at the same time, there's this story about this huge object that's come into our solar system. They're calling it 3I Atlas. It's about somewhere between 11 and 15 miles long. They're tracking this thing, and it's acting really strange, nothing like they've ever seen before. It's actually changing its course and its velocity. What? Yep. That's right. So this object is coming in. Maybe they're setting up Operation Bluebeam, and they're going to fake an alien invasion. Okay, now I also heard that there are 7 more comets that have all of a sudden shown up. Say, what's this all about? So we got a strange object. Now we've got comets. Maybe they're setting up Operation Bluebeam here. So what's going on with that? Well, the congressional hearings that they were having, and I'll tell you, Nancy Mace, you should have seen her face as some of these guys were testifying. And these are military people, high-ranking officials that have been involved with this entire situation for decades. And they're finally acknowledging, yes, the UFOs are real. Most of them that we see in the sky are ours. They've been back-engineered from downed extraterrestrial craft, which are real. There are real extraterrestrial craft out there. There are real objects that come from somewhere that we don't know. And they're acknowledging that. But the overwhelming majority of what we see in the sky are domestic. They're back-engineered. It's back-engineered technology that they're using, and they may use to fake an alien invasion. That's what Operation Bluebeam is all about. So I just wanted to throw that out there and make you aware of this, because in the coming months, we're going to see more and more and more about this particular issue. There's going to be more about this 3I Atlas as it enters. It's entering our solar system right now, and they're saying it should pass by Mars. I think it's sometime in October. It's going to be passing behind the sun, so we won't be able to see it from the Earth. But they got satellites that will be able to watch it. So we're going to have to see how this is going to play out. And they want people to be afraid. They want people to think that we're going to be invaded by aliens, and I have no doubt whatsoever that they're going to use the technology that they have back-engineered to try to create a global fake catastrophe. And I think we're going to see false flags. I think we're going to see more attacks on people. I mean, we're living in some very dark times, folks, but this is why I'm saying the power of prayer, the power of staying in the light. This is so important, folks. It really is. Because that can derail all of their plans. I saw a thing, there was a guy that was asking ChatGPT about who the Antichrist was. And he put it out there in several different segments. I saw it just before I came on the air today. And it was a pretty amazing conversation that the ChatGPT came back with. And all I'll say is that if you haven't read the book of Enoch, you may want to read the book of Enoch. Now, Enoch was Noah's grandfather. All right? I mean, if you don't know about the book of Enoch, you got to read the book of Enoch. I'm telling you. Even a Space Force is telling you to read the book of Enoch. What are you talking about, Dave? Well, I'm telling you about, on the IngersollLockwood.com website, And if you haven't done that, man, go to IngersollLockwood.com and start poking around. And when you move your cursor around the website in the text, be aware of your cursor turning into a pointy finger, which means there's a hidden link there. The text is filled with hidden links. And even the open spaces, you wouldn't think there's nothing there, but all of a sudden, oh, my cursor turned into a pointy finger. There's a hidden link there. Go check it out, folks. There's a lot of stuff on that website. And again, that the IngersollLockwood.com website, when you load it up there, it says the U.S. Space Force is hiring. What? It's a website for recruitment into the Space Force. It is. And so why would they be putting all this stuff out there? Why are there hidden links to the 2022 Pentagon report on UAPs? Why are there hidden links to the back engineering of extraterrestrial spacecraft during the 30s and 40s by the Germans? Why are there hidden links that will take you to all different documents, the Abrams Accords? There are hidden links that take you to all kinds. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, when you hit one link, it opens up Google Earth, takes you to Antarctica, and shows you a big hole with what appears to be a steel dome. Why are they showing you this? And then when you go to the library, there's a little area there where you could check out the library, and it's got all the writings of Ingersoll Lockwood, and then it says homework, the Book of Enoch. There's some strange stuff going on in this world, and if you want to get a better idea of where this world is going, you have to open your mind, open your heart, and open your spirit, because that's what it's all about. It's all about your heart and your spirit. That is what's more important than anything in this world. I don't care what kind of car you drive or how big your house is or if you've got a boat, that's all stuff. I don't care how much money you've got. It's not about all the stuff. They say he who dies with the most stuff wins. No, he who dies with the most stuff missed the point. That's not why we're here. We're here to care for one another, to love one another, to help one another. And I've referred to this before. Remember the movie Ghost with Demi Moore and Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze? Remember the final scene when Demi Moore looks up and she can finally see Sam. He's been a ghost all this time and she couldn't see him. But all of a sudden now she can see him. And behind him is that light that you go into when you pass to the next world. And he's about to walk towards the light and he turns back and he says, all the love, you get to take that with you. And that's the truth, folks. To the best of my ability, to what my beliefs are, that's all you get. You come into this world naked, you're going to go out naked. The only thing that you get to take with you is what you've shared, cared, and loved about. And if people love you, you get to have that. That's why you're here. And I don't know, that's my story and I'm sticking to it, okay? Oh, man. I had so many other things I wanted to get to. But like I said, there's so many dark forces. Well, to give you an idea, here is Jasmine Crockett. Here's a real quick clip. This will give you an idea. Now, is this, would you say this is a good person or an evil person? Listen up.
But this is a war. This isn't a battle. And we absolutely will win this war.
Okay, we're going to win this war. Now, they're saying that there's a war. Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you. But listen to what the commentator said.
It is a war. It is indeed a war. And I have to say, they have won some battles, Jasmine, but we have to keep our eye on the war, and everybody needs to pick up a weapon and get involved.
Okay, pick up a weapon, she says. That's MSNBC. I don't know who the commentator is, but they are advocating. They keep on saying that we're not advocating violence. I mean, what hypocrites. This is what they want, and this is exactly why I'm saying we cannot allow ourselves to fall into civil war, not conflict in the streets against each other, because the real enemies are Vanguard and BlackRock and Goldman Sachs. I mean, those are the enemies. Those are the people who have to be exposed. Now, I don't know how that's going to play out, folks, because they've enjoyed so much control for so long. And to be quite honest, if there were a leader to come to power, if somebody of the resistance was representing a threat, they would take him out in a New York minute. You mean like Charlie Kirk? Oh my, put the puzzle pieces together, folks. Our institutions of higher learning, our colleges and universities have been pretty much taken over by the, well, what do you call them? Globalists, leftists, I don't know, liberals, etc., etc. I mean, that's where most of these vitriolic, horrendous videos celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination, that's where most of them are coming from teachers and professors. And what was happening over the past 10 years, yes, the colleges were pumping out very, very liberal folks, and this is why we got so many problems and so much confusion today. And what was Charlie doing? He was turning that all around. He was bringing them back to reality. That was a major threat to them. And again, if you're going to look at solving a crime, you need three things: motive, means, and opportunity. Well, if you're the Israeli Mossad, you certainly have the means. And the opportunity? Well, the opportunity is created by whatever situation that you're going to create. And that's not outside their abilities either. So the last one is motive. Well, I think the motive is very clear. This has become the United States of Israel. As a matter of fact, this past week they had a huge meeting. I think there was 250 or 350 lawmakers were over there in Israel for a conference that was called 50 States, One Israel. Folks, Israel has taken over this country. Look at AIPAC. How many of your members of Congress, 235 members of Congress, are on the payroll? I don't know, but I know only 10 of them aren't. And believe it or not, AOC is one of them. Go figure on that one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're living in a clown world, folks. We really are. It's crazy. And the hypocrisy, like I said, the left wants conflict. They want that. Remember when Chuck Schumer was all pissed off about Judge Kavanaugh?
You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. Remember that? And now since Charlie Kirk's assassination, what's he saying?
Well, look, the bottom line is this is a time that all Americans should come together and feel and mourn what happened. Violence, which affects so many different people of so many different political persuasions, is an affliction of America.
Well, then stop inciting violence, you hypocrite. I don't know how we could solve this problem, folks, but we have to. And I will tell you that we can do this. We absolutely can turn this around if we turn our sights on the Spirit. Go back to God. Start praying again, because praying is manifestation. It really is. I've experienced that a few times myself, and it ain't easy sometimes. But if you're going to pray, do it with gratitude. Do it with thanks. Say thank you for answering my prayer before your prayer gets answered. That's the way it works. You start thinking along the term that your prayer, what you want, has already there. It's already there for you. You just have to ask for it. Oh my gosh. I didn't mean to get all esoteric on you folks, but this is important stuff. Anyway, okay, that's going to wrap it up for another crazy week in this clown world. I'm Dave vonKleist. These are the WTF reports. I appreciate your listenership, and I hope you'll appreciate it enough to be able to click like, share, and subscribe, and more importantly, share it through word of mouth. Say, hey, folks, you got to tune into this show, because I'm spitting truth bombs out here, and I'm praying for Candace Owens, because she's trying to tell the truth. And a lot of these podcasters are showing their true colors. Anyway, that said, have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay free, and I'll see you on Monday. God bless you all.
Anymore.